Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your weekday daily card reading. I'm Jeanette Byro. And now today I am trying something very different because thank you all so much, first of all, for your comments about the audio. I always want to make sure you all get good audio and video. So I've been going through making sure my video is working on different systems. My audio, it's an interesting one to figure out. So the Friday message, I think I understand why that audio wasn't working. It turns out my cable actually broke in the actual part that hooks in. It snapped after. So I think that was really loose, and I think that's why it wasn't working. However, there's other times where some of you say the audio sounds fine. Some of you says it's really quiet. Um, I find when I check my audio here, it works fine. When I play the videos on my phone, they're always fine. Sometimes when I play it on my computer, though, through YouTube, sometimes it's lower, sometimes it's not. So there are some things I do not understand with the audio, but what I'm doing is trying a completely different setup, different camera, um, different everything. So we're going to see how this goes, and hopefully we can lock into a really good quality because again, I just want to bring you all good quality so you're not distracted by lack of sound, crazy sound, whatever that might be. So I think there's a little bit of YouTube stuff happening, a little bit of my tech stuff, but I think I have that figured out. So please do let me know how this video comes through today, how the sound comes through, and I will do my best to find the root. All right. Okay, so this week I'm using the Awakening Avalon Oracle deck that we created at Avalon Spirit. Ah, and okay, jumper already. What is the energy this week? So we had the full moon on the weekend, this Libra moon. Hopefully you're feeling this energy of more balance and kind of harmony coming back in right now. Um, what do we have, Spirit? What's in the energy? Okay, this is really interesting. They're showing me all hands on deck this week. There are like a dozen guides of mine coming forward, and they're saying they're representing all hands on deck. So you might find a lot of guide spirit activity this week happening, and that's because there's a lot of okay, they're saying a lot of manipulation in the timings of things, but they're using the word manipulation in a really good way. It's like they're standing on deck, ready to drop in their pieces where they need, and there's many doing that. Like there's lots of activity happening. So this might be a week of a lot of divine synchronistic timings for things for you. So that's always really interesting. Um, let's see what's in the cards. So we already have the jumper, so let's see what the rest of them are. Okay. They're also saying, um, don't think it's over till it's over. So if there's certain things that some of you are waiting to come in and you're like, I don't think this is happening, this isn't aligning for me, they're like, don't give up on it quite yet. Again, it's those timings of things, and they're all hands on deck right now. Okay, so the jumper card we have this week is the play card. I think this is so cool as a jumper because this is a big theme this week. So essentially, to help a lot of these alignments come into be is to be in this energy of play, lighthearted, uplifted, happy, positive, um, high vibe energy. And if you fall off that energy, which is completely fair, life happens. What can you do in the form of play to bring that essence and that vitality back to self? Because if you anchor into this kind of energy this week, it's going to bring a lot of things forward. Okay. Now, the other thing is this week, I love this. We have the changing seasons card, and this says embrace change. This is exactly spirit coming in, all hands on deck, moving things around, helping divine synchronistic timings of things happen, alignments. Um, this is really helping those changes click into place. And I keep seeing the reason why they're showing me many of my guides is because they're switching many things, right? So if it was like a bunch of kind of knobs on this panel, they're clicking a bunch of different ones in this week. And that represents the same for all of you, right? So there is change happening this week for sure. So just really be open to it. And again, if you're in this higher energy, it makes those changes easier. And the reason why, an example of this would be like if you're feeling really low and not in an energy of play, if all of a sudden you get this idea of, oh, I should go to the coffee shop. If you're feeling low, you likely won't go. And that coffee shop could be this divine synchronistic meeting of somebody really important to your journey, right? And so if you stay in this energy, you're more easily brought to the places you need to be for these changes to take place. So I think that's something really neat to consider. The next card out is the Swan Dive card, and this says be daring. And I think this is really neat because, again, it's with these changing energies, it might be these invitations to do something um, daring, right? Be in this energy of expansion. And you know what's really cool is I've been getting this message throughout the weekend too from Spirit about being bold and being fearless. Be bold, be fearless, step into it, take advantage of the upswing of energy or momentum or something like that. This is that swan dive card. So again, with these changes coming in, be willing to show up, be willing to swan dive into these things, be bold and fearless this week because there's a lot coming through. Now, here's what's extra interesting is throat chakra. So this says speak your truth. When we step into these divine synchronistic alignments of things, right? These changes that Spirit is talking about, when we meet those people, get those opportunities, it's often an opportunity for us to say yes to something. And in that saying yes, this throat chakra is saying speak your truth. And so it's kind of like, yeah, this is a great example. I remember the first time I met Lois, my business partner at Avalon Spirit. First time I met her, it was actually when I was working on a DNA project because I used to be a kinesiologist in personal training and I was presenting at CanFit Pro, this big fitness conference on DNA and exercise. And she runs a DNA company called DNA Power. Highly recommend it, FYI. Um, and so I was meeting with her to make sure that the information I was bringing through from my perspective was in alignment with her and what she knows. And we were also kind of representing her company and all of this stuff. And I remember when I was driving to that meeting, I was thinking, what if she asks me what else I do besides science? Because at the time I was doing mediumship, but it was really like under the table, kind of in the closet. And I was like, I made a decision. I was like, if she asks me what else I do, I'm going to tell her that I'm a medium. I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to speak my truth. I'm going to let my throat chakra be, truthful and flowing. So this divine synchronistic meeting happens. This opportunity for change is just sitting there waiting on my throat chakra for me to speak through my throat chakra. So sure enough, within minutes of meeting her, she's like, would you like a coffee? I'm like, sure. So we go and we're filling our coffees. And before we even sit down for the meeting, she's like, so what else do you do? And I took a moment. I was like, okay, here it is. I'm going to just tell her. And either she's going to think I'm crazy or she'll be open to it. What do I have to lose? I have to be truthful. So I told her, I'm like, I'm also a medium. And we spent the first hour of our meeting talking about mediumship. And we even talked about at that time. She's like, I've always wanted to start a company that is spiritually based. And I was like, me too. And she's like, maybe it'll happen one day. Right. And then we just carried on finally talking about DNA. And then it was a couple years later that we decided to start Avalon Spirit after my NDE, actually. So that's such a perfect example of this energy coming up right now, asking us to speak our truth. Speak your truth in the changes that come forward. Because had I not spoken my truth to her that day, Avalon Spirit, the way in which it is right now, would not have happened. Maybe it would have been some other version or something different. But the beauty that it is and the partnership that I have with Lois now is just absolutely divine. And it wouldn't have happened had this energetic energy of play, my willingness to swan dive, speak my truth to create something amazing. And so that's just an example of what is awaiting you this week. There's this energy of divine alignment. So if you can be in that higher energy of play or joy, willing to be authentically you, and Spirit's been talking about this, this is how you can really step into the next things. So what an epically powerful start. And you know what? Had we not started Avalon Spirit, we wouldn't have had this Oracle deck or the other one, right? Like all of these things. So I really hope that that inspires you to really honor those moments where you want to be bold and fearless and be you, because it really makes a difference, big time. So I will leave that with all of you. I do want to invite you to check out the podcast. It is a conversation between myself and my Arcturian guide, Shaham, and it was his idea to sit down and just kind of do this live Q&A with him. So a really neat one to listen to. And also, if you want to know more about ancient Egypt, some of the energetics about it, some channeled information, I'm going to be hosting Cosmic Consciousness on Wednesday night. You can sign up at avalonspirit.com under Cosmic Consciousness Circle to hear some of the insights. Spirit has a lot to share, and there's a lot of information to share. So I hope to see you there as well. So thank you as always, everyone. Please do subscribe, share, like, and let me know how the audio is on this one. And I will continue to work to make it better and better. So have a beautiful rest of your day, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.